Sunshine and warm weather in the Mid-Ohio Valley are bringing people outside. A few of those people are volunteers with the Habitat for Humanity of the Mid-Ohio Valley. The organization is in the process of building a house in Parkersburg for a family. The cold did cause a few delays, but they are chugging along now. Our Logan Riggenbaugh went to the construction site to see the progress volunteers have made.
Habitat for Humanity of the Mid-Ohio Valley is in the process of building a house for a family in North Parkersburg. They broke ground in November with the family, volunteers, and sponsors present for the occasion. Dreary weather in January and February forced construction to come to a standstill. Now that spring is on the horizon, volunteers are picking up where they left off. Robin Stewart, the executive director of Habitat for Humanity of the MOV, said they are excited to finally continue construction.
This weather is beautiful, and in Habitat world that means it is prime construction season. We had some delays in January and February, all really due to the weather, and so starting last week we had a number of groups that came out, helped us.
The house is part of the Women Build program. According to Habitat for Humanity's website, the program aims to help women build a better future for themselves, starting with their homes. So far, volunteers have laid the foundation and erected the outer walls. Stewart says this would have taken them a while to do without the volunteers' help.
You know, sometimes that might have taken a couple of weeks to do, but because we had so many volunteers that came out and helped, we were just able to just really work as quickly as possible. So the weather has just been fantastic, and it's allowing us to continue to build this house.
If you are interested in volunteering with Habitat for Humanity, you can visit our website at WTAP.com. Reporting from Parkersburg, I'm Logan Riggenbaugh for WTAP News. This is home.